Alright, so we'll aim to make this half an hour.
Okay.
And we're going to do some warm-up stuff with the first of the 5 elements, metal, and then we're going to do an introduction to the 8 palms, the 8 mother palms that we use. So first off, if we put feet shoulder width apart, head suspended from above, sacrum pressed down slightly, and breathe in up the back and breathe out down the front. So we've done this before, where you've got imagining something running up your back over the top of your head to the mouth, and then as you breathe out it just sinks and relaxes down the front. And bend your knees slightly. Make sure your feet are parallel. Okay, this time we're going to do a bit more energy and a bit more of a chop. So we're going to come down into this rounded position with an exhale, and I'm dropping my center of gravity into that chop. So breathing in, breathing out. And at the moment the gap between our hands is directly in front of us on our center line that's running belly button nose. What we're going to do is we're going to turn to about 30 degrees and chop down, and then 30 degrees other side. So breathing in relatively straight, a little bit of a turn, chopping down. Okay, now left hand goes under the right arm. The right arm is bent with a loose fist, and we just do little circles. And backwards. And change. Make a loose fist, so it feels like you're kind of hammering down there. And backwards. Okay, so now we'll start with the right hand. Coming around and down to there. So the same kind of sink, and so it's as if you're hitting forwards and down with the palm. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe out. Other side. Now back to the right, but instead of opening on the right, we're going to open on the left. So you can imagine that you're picking up an axe or a sledgehammer and then down. And then the other hand goes across the body, pick up that axe and chop down. Pick it up, chop down. Pick up an axe, swing it, chop down. There's an axe over here, pick it up, chop down. So left goes over to the right side of your body and then down your centre line. Right goes to the left side of the body and then down the centre line. As we're doing this, we want to make sure that our knees continue to point directly forwards. So even though I've got rotation in the body, I want that rotation to be happening from the hips upwards. I don't want my knees to be snaking around, so they need to be fixed, pointing forwards. The whole time we're doing this, we keep the top of the head pressed up towards the ceiling and the sacrum pressed down so that we have a lengthening of the spine. Okay, now it gets a bit complicated because it's going to come over and then it's a two-handed axe. Dum, dum. And then I go this side, so my right goes to my left side, comes down the centre line, the left follows. That's it. So allow the back hand to come down in front of the dantian and the front hand just in front of your body. So slow, smooth, relaxed, with the breath, breathing in and breathing out. So this eventually just gets smaller and stays on the centre line and becomes this technique, Futuren, which is our basic chopping motion in 5-element boxing. But we'll not worry about that too much now. Let's do, so I'm going to take these off because they're a bit crap for standing in. So feet shoulder width apart, knees pointing directly forwards, hips sunk so that your bum's not sticking out, the sacrum is down as if you've got something very heavy tied to the back of your belt. The head is pressing up, the tip of the tongue's on the roof of the mouth, chest is sunk, shoulders relaxed. And our first posture is turning our swearing fingers towards each other and pressing as far forward and down as is comfortable without hunching. So we've got to stay upright, but we need to push down and forwards. And this will create a rounded shape here. And if you sink the chest, you should feel that it opens the space between your shoulder blades. So you can feel like, especially with that twist there, like a little stretch between the shoulder blades. And what I want you to feel is a continuous stretch of connective tissue from the tip of your finger all the way around the outside of that circle. So kind of, you have to expand down, forwards, and then you get this kind of opening of the whole of that circle. And it's like a stretch. But what we want to do is feel that stretch, then relax a little bit. So that you're not really putting tension into your body, but that you're feeling a slight kind of opening. Okay, let's do it as a movement. So you can breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in. And you can slightly sink down, bending the knees as you press down. That's it. At the moment you're got one bit higher than the other. So just as an experiment, feel what it's like if the chest is lifted, and then relax that down, and then feel what it's like. So if the chest is lifted, then I can't quite connect to that circle.
Kind of pinches as well.
Whereas if I sink the chest, then I get more of that circle there. And what we're aiming for is for that bow, that circle, to be connected to the bow that's going from here to here, because our back kind of makes a bit of a bow there as well. And bear in mind, because we're dropping the sacrum, we don't have the convex curve in the small of our back. So we've got that and that there. Okay, our second posture is here. So this is a posture we use a lot for standing meditation. So in this posture, we want the elbows to be lower than the wrists. If the elbows are higher, then there's tension in my shoulders, which I don't want. I want maybe 3 hands width between my chest and my hands, or maybe a hand's width between my hands. There's space between all of my fingers, and there's a slight pulling in of the palm, like that, slightly. So it should feel as if there's a little bit of squeeze, a bit of life in the fingers. And here, what I want you to do is imagine that you've got something here and you're having to reach around it. So you've got a pillar and you're reaching around it. At the same time, you're pressing the top of your head up. And you're hugging the pillar, you're squeezing it a bit. And you're doing these things, but then you're just becoming aware of the muscular tension that you've used to do these things. So you're trying to maintain that feeling of reaching around, hugging, pressing the head up, while relaxing all of those muscles. So the aim is total relaxation. The aim is to be able to stand here for half an hour, no problem. Sink the chest a little bit. That's it. Okay, so posture number 1, reaching forwards and down. Posture number 2. Posture number 1. Posture number 2. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. In, out, in, out. So it's expanding out and around. And then just play with moving between these two postures for a bit. Okay, our third posture, little fingers, middle fingers are pointing towards each other again, but this time we're pushing forwards. And even though that is going to want to bring your elbows up high, you're going to want to try to have the elbows lower than the wrists. Because if your elbows are here, then shoulder tension, achiness. So elbows low, and here you can imagine that you're pushing something. You're pushing against someone who's pushing back. So you need to align yourself so that you can take that force down into the ground. So sacrum tucked under, head pushed up. This is my least favourite of the 8 mother palms. So again, trying to relax all of the muscles that you can. The name of the game is relaxation. So you can use the out breath to sink, let go of tension, drop it down into the ground. And both movement and stillness are good for getting used to these postures. And becoming more relaxed in them. So being as relaxed as possible, moving with the breath, in, out. So far we've got posture number 1, posture number 2, and posture number 3. Then we come under and out. So with this posture, what we don't want to do is have the arms flat, because then that closes that space between our shoulder blades. So it's off at a, I don't know what angle that is, 140 degrees, 120, I don't know. And as I come up, it's like I'm screwing 2 light bulbs in. So my little fingers are turning towards me and the thumb is turning away from me. Or it's like when you're doing this type of thing and I'm coming up like that. But have the palms, yeah, that's it. So I should be able to just put something there. Oh yeah, so that way. But with the palm, hands open, yeah. And straighten the wrists a bit. Good. So there, the energy is coming up from your feet and out. And then you want to be able to relax into the posture. So you're connecting your hands to your shoulders, to your hips, in a way that they're naturally aligned and using as little muscular force as possible to hold your hands up. At the same time, we need to make sure that we're not leaning backwards, that our hips are sunk, our knees are bent, tip of the tongue's on the roof of the mouth, the head is pressed up, the chest is sunk, the back rounded, the fingers alive. Okay, so let's do number 4 as movement practice. It's like you're kind of picking something up from your armpits and holding it up. He's a bit dangerous with those deer antlers, isn't he? He's like, like, oh. Okay, so number 1, round it, fingers make a straight line. Your middle finger makes one straight line, the 2 middle fingers. Number 2. Settle into it, relax. Drop away all the tension. Bring your hands a bit closer towards you. That's it. A little bit closer still. Number 3. Where's the tension? How can you let go of it? Breathe down into the belly. Number 4. Where's the tension? How can you let go of it? 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's just go back to number 2. Okay, in this posture, we're just going to think about our back opening, expanding, about the part of our foot that's on the ground. So don't have the weight going into your heels, don't have the weight going into your toes. So you can rock backwards and forwards just to feel where that sweet spot in the middle is. Knees slightly bent, and rotate it outwards ever so slightly. This helps open the hips here. If I screw my feet that way a little bit, then the hips open, the sacrum drops, the lumbar spine expands, the chest sinking opens the space between the shoulder blades, the head lifting up opens the cervical spine, the back of the neck, relaxation of the shoulders, space between the fingers, feeling aliveness there. And then move down the front line, sinking and relaxing. The inside of the arms soften, relax, drop down. All the way down, chest sunk, relaxed. The belly is sunk and relaxed. The inside of the hips, the inside of the stance is soft, relaxed. So then starting from the feet on the outside of the legs, you've got a rising expansion and structure, strength up the outside of the legs to the back expanding this way and this way, giving strength and structure. The outside of the arms expanding so that we've got this inflating feel, the outside of our arms literally just expanding into space. The inside here softening down, relaxing. Front of our body softening, relaxing. The inside of our legs softening, relaxing. The hips here softening, relaxing. So we have this yang energy on the outside of our body, on our back, expanding, giving structure, and the yin energy on the inside, softening, sinking, relaxing. And we'll end how we began, by breathing up the back, over the top of the head to the mouth, and then breathing out from the mouth and softening, sinking, relaxing our front line. So invigorate the back line, soften the front line. Hiya.
Thank you. That was really tough.